Ukrainian documentary 2,000 Meters to Andriivka won the Best Director award at the Sundance Film Festival at the end of January. The documentary follows the events of the Ukrainian counter-offensive in 2023. Mstislav Chernov, Oscar-winning director of 20 Days in Mariupol, accompanies a platoon of Ukrainian soldiers from the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, tasked with liberating the key village of Andriivka in the Donetsk region.
In this time in history, when the destiny of Ukraine is decided, we wanted to bring the audience to the battlefield, in the trenches, as close as possible to the soldiers, to show perspective of those who lost their lives and those who are still fighting for their country.
The first of the Mirage 2000 fighter jets have arrived in Ukraine. After several months of training in France, Ukrainian pilots are taken to defending the skies over Ukraine, reports the French Ministry of the Armed Forces. The Mirage 2000 is a French fighter jet powered by a single engine similar to the American F-16. According to French media, Paris aims to supply Kyiv with at least 12 of these aircraft in 2025. Modern versions are equipped with a state-of-the-art radar system to track up to 24 aerial targets, as well as homing missile tech to ensure an upper hand in combat. The model delivered to Ukraine is said to be equipped with the latest systems for countering electronic warfare. The jet was developed into several models, making it a multi-role aircraft with a variety of nations buying over 600 units. Ukrainian armed forces launched a successful overnight strike on the Primorsko-Akhtarsk airfield in Russia's Krasnodar region. This facility serves as an operational hub for Russian aviation assets, storing, preparing and launching Shahed-type drones for attacks against Ukraine. It also supports Russian aircraft operating in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. The General Staff of the Armed Forces confirmed direct hits and explosions at the target site, sparking a fire. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed. Ukraine continues to receive U.S. military aid, stated President Zelenskyy. Answering questions from journalists after his meeting with the British Foreign Secretary David Lammy, Zelenskyy noted, however, that there was no discussion about new packages.
As of today, there is no decrease in American support. It hasn't been halted, it continues, and I'm thankful to the United States. Still, we're not in talks about new packages. It's too early to talk about this. However, we started communicating with the new American team.
Later in his evening address, Zelenskyy once again emphasized that Ukraine has significantly intensified contact with the U.S. administration and that Kyiv also communicates with its other partners.
Ukraine needs real, lasting and guaranteed peace and the means to ensure that Russia always knows what awaits those who wish to harm Ukraine. We're open to strong diplomacy and we are preparing such just diplomacy. And this requires the resilience of our warriors, the effectiveness and modernization of our army.
North Korean missiles launched by Russian forces against Ukraine have demonstrated an improvement in accuracy, now hitting their intended targets within a range of 50 to 100 meters. This was reported by Reuters, citing 2 Ukrainian officials. According to them, this may indicate that Pyongyang is using the war in Ukraine as a testing ground for its missile technology. A senior Ukrainian military source, speaking on condition of anonymity, described a marked improvement in the precision of more than 20 North Korean missiles fired at Ukraine over recent weeks. A second source, a senior government official familiar with the matter, confirmed these findings. The United Kingdom will lead the next meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, also known as the Rammstein format, which connects nearly 50 countries. It will take place on February 12 in Brussels. According to UK NATO Twitter, the event will be convened by UK Defence Secretary John Healey. The UDCG will gather ahead of the NATO Defence Ministerial meeting. The 26th Rammstein session will be the first since the recent change in the White House presidency. During the Biden administration, it was the US who organized the first assembly of around 40 nations 2 months into Russia's full-scale invasion. However, Estonian Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur earlier reported that various coalitions created within the framework of UDCG will continue to support Ukraine, including with armored vehicles, air defense and drones, regardless of the fate of Rammstein. 6 months have passed since Ukraine started the Kursk operation that was launched to protect the cross-border region of Sumy. Russian troops have not been able to drive Ukrainian soldiers away from their own territory that maintains a buffer zone near the city of Sudzha. The secrecy of the operation last year and the element of surprise proved a success. In just 1 month of the operation, Ukrainian forces took control of over 100 settlements and 1,376 square kilometers of Russian territory. Since last August, Russia has lost 39,900 soldiers, with approximately 16,000 kills, the rest wounded. Almost 1,000 Russian troops have been captured. Equipment losses include nearly 900 wrecked armor and over 1,000 military transport vehicles. In an attempt to stabilize the situation, Moscow teamed up with Pyongyang and deployed 12,000 North Korean troops to the Kursk region last December. As of now, a third of them are either killed or wounded, as the PRK troops are ill-prepared for modern warfare involving drones and advanced weaponry. Although the controlled area has decreased, President Zelenskyy and Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky remain confident that the operation was crucial, necessary, and will play a vital role in negotiations with Russia.
An aggressor and a criminal should be beaten down on his home ground. The occupier can and should be fought back on his own soil. This is not only just, but also effective to protect lives in our country and in Europe in general. The Kursk operation laid bare the reason behind the peace through strength principle.
Ukraine has built up long-range drone strike capabilities, raising Russian oil refineries and military bases, reports The Times. Brigadier General Yuri Shihol, who coordinates the strikes for Ukraine's defense intelligence, told the British newspaper that the success rate of these long-range strikes has increased a dozen times since the start of the war. According to Shihol, Ukraine is now producing more than 500 deep strike drones per month. Although they are mostly conducted using propeller-driven drones, he says a new model of faster jet drones will be used in future missions. Due to these deep strikes, Russia no longer has any airfields left within 300 kilometers that they can use to attack Ukraine. The infrastructure physically does not exist for them, thanks to targeting oil refineries and facilities that supply the military aviation, Shihol added. Ukraine plans to double down on developing long-range capabilities to hurt Putin's war chest of energy reserves that fuels his aggression, wrote The Times. The U.S. plan on ending the war in Ukraine will be presented by President Trump himself, stated the U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia, Keith Kellogg, in an interview with Newsmax. However, there was no mention of when this would happen. On Wednesday, various media outlets shared the news that Kellogg would deliver the plan during the Munich Security Conference.
Yeah, we're going to the Munich Security Conference next week. Look, there's a report out from another news network that said that we're going to present a peace plan next week. No, we're not. I did not talk to that news network at all. And, you know, the person that's going to present the peace plan is the President of the United States, not Keith Kellogg. We're going to lead it up to it, help him out, get it to a point where he delivers that. But that is not going to happen next week at all. We're going to have great discussions with senior leaders in the European environment and bring back what we found out to the President of the United States, and then go from there.
Russia started conducting exercises with its Yars intercontinental ballistic missile systems in the Volga region. A video published by the Russian Ministry of Defense on Telegram shows the movement of military personnel along with these weapons. According to the statement, the units have to march up to 100 kilometers and practice the task of camouflage in forested areas in order to improve the concealment of the road-mobile Yars missile complex.